Official welcome to the March 17th. This is St. Patrick's Day. I don't know a lot of lore about St. Patrick's. I don't know a lot about the story other than I'm pretty sure it was him with the snakes. But if anyone wants to let me know more about St. Patrick's Day and like the meaning or what it means to you, whatever it is you do on St. Patrick's Day, then yeah, let me know. Let me know in the comments. And so this is our Soul Circle Oracle session. This is just the beginning, and then we'll get into our individual readings. Again, I'm in my kind of like cozy desk office space right now, but I am moving back to the other desk. I'm just doing some like renovations and organizing, reorganizing how I do things, and setting up my art desk on the other half of my computer desk. So just needed some time for that. Today, I'm going to be doing a collective reading based on the empathic oracle deck. And I'm going to keep more of a focus on empaths and highly sensitive folk. It's sort of always a general focus, right? People know that I work with, these highly sensitive people, these empathic, sensitive, creative folk. They've known that for a while. But I do like to go back and forth with how I talk about this because I find whenever I go into an empath energetics launch time where I want to say, hey, welcome in, we have this next round, I'm going to gear up, and then there's a new course starting, I'll tend to be reminded of all the challenges that empaths face. And then when I'm in an empath energetic session, I'm not generally marketing the next one and sharing about that as much. And so I'm in all of like the empowerment and the embodiment and the fun part. And so I had to notice actually at times that by pulling out of, and pulling backwards in the journey, in a sense, I go through it as a sensitive being. Like I actually kind of go through what are the challenges that empaths are currently facing right now. There's sort of collective trends. One thing that a lot of people have been saying to me recently is feeling like tons of ideas, but wanting to make sure that they actually happen, like almost feeling like they're grasping and yet it's like turning into wisps of thin air. It's almost like seeing a rock but then it turns into a cloud. And so this makes a lot of sense what we've gotten this week, which is solar plexus chakra. And in the empath energetics program, we do focus on chakras as a way of understanding things, but I can also talk about the cauldrons. I can also talk about just how energy works, energy centers, energy points, and you can use your own definition, your own system. I'm not very prescriptive. I really enjoy when people bring their own influence to the table. And at the same time, I'm going to teach frameworks, ways of thinking that help you narrow in and actually really get clear on what the energetic and intuitive information you're receiving is. So chakras are one way I find to quickly identify what you're going through. This would relate to a lot of personal identity crises, lots of self-esteem challenges, definitely in the collective in general. And this would also be your like fear and your anxiety center where your nerves come from. And if you were to feel self-conscious, right? It's like, well, it's funny because I'm sitting in kind of like a leaned over position at the moment, just when I'm doing this reading. So I can feel almost that bend, that cowering. I don't feel weak in that area right now, but it's just, that's the kind of motion that goes along with it. And so a lot of this could also be about life direction. And here's another thing I've been feeling recently is a lot of people, maybe just the people who are watching these videos and in this collective, might be feeling like a way, and yet you're seeing distance between you and that place, that destination, or there's some sort of limit of how you can actually say yes fully, that's my future, that's or that's my present even. I'll get into this more when we have our individual sessions, but it's like, what do you feel far from? It's like the distance between. Yeah, I had this I want to read this card and then I'm going to share this story that I can resonate with, or that I can relate to, that happened recently about feeling the knowing of something and then also feeling a distance from it. Okay. So then we'll go into individual soul circle time. And, but individual soul circle time, I mean, actually it's the group soul circle time. But I always think it's like individually we kind of check in with each person. And so we all get to know, each other's stories in that time. And so it feels like individual readings to me, but we do it all together. All right, solar plexus chakra. So the energetic color is yellow, and it's around your solar plexus. It says, whose will is it? Is the direction of my steps forward allowed from my inner compass? Our third chakra is where we experience the truth of our will. To be able to make choices from a place that is absent of fear, worry, or judgment is a gift that allows us to see and learn the unfoldment of the investment of our energy. From this space, we soon learn to adjust all aspects of movement and thought into energetic manifestation. Oftentimes, our will feels challenged because of religious beliefs, societal rules, or even the projected fears of others. And we may make a choice that serves them instead of our own needs. As empaths, we feel this drive within very deeply to understand the power of choice, especially when we sense the do as I say, not what I do from others. That becomes the quest. Often, even a simple drive to experience makes many empaths quickly notice all the cords of attachment to the false will needs of others. Cord cutting becomes a very valuable tool and should be practiced day to day as needed. I would also say just simply cleansing, returning to your energy, like your own spiritual practices, whatever they may be, your intuitive time. This is also ways that you can improve how you feel in your own energy. Cord cutting, I think, is like situational, but we can talk about that if you join Empath Energetics. Are my choices from a place of free will, and do I allow others the same self-choice? So are you acting in alignment and in accordance with your wants and needs, with what it is you desire? There's definitely a more activated type of desire that comes from that solar plexus. It's considered more of a masculine energy, and it is about actually how we're behaving. So this story that I have, I hope it's relevant. In Soul Circle, we can go into empath oracle cards if you like as well. We can also simply do check-ins, and I can pull from other decks as well. They're not far. So when I was in this shamanic training, I felt this experience of feeling like a vision coming through of some work that I'm meant to do in this lifetime. And this work is really closely connected to my heart, and it is involving children who need homes, who need places, loving places to live, and is also about reducing cruelty and violence in a very specific area of the world. And I'd had all of these doubts, right? We receive this vision, any type of dream in your heart or any type of vision or imagining. And when we receive it, sometimes it feels like we go into analysis mode, like you need to kind of assess all parts of it. And when I was doing that assessment, because we all do in some way, I was feeling like really far from the woman who does these things. And yet I did have this underlying belief that it was me in the visions. And so it was easy to feel down and easy to feel hopeless feels a little bit drastic, but without hope about that being your future. And I was really focused on all the ways that I'm far from that thing, which I felt in some way my heart is longing for. And it was a desire and as a dream. This was a dream that wasn't just a passing thought. It was something that had sat with me for months. And so in this time where it's sitting with me, it's really because it's sitting internally with me as a point of, am I good enough? Am I that person? Do I have the skills? Would I be able to get the skills needed to fulfill that dream, that desire, right? So if you craved, say, running a marathon, you would be thinking, do I have the stamina? Will I get out and practice? Do I have the dedication? What happens if I get an injury? You're thinking of all these potentials, all these possibilities. And I think it's a really important thing our brain does do that, but that we don't spend forever in that zone, because that is a zone of like leading up to taking an action. It's way before you actually take the action. And so I was feeling so at a distance and so far from the reality that would be me helping the world, helping children in this way. And it started to pick away at me more and more. And I realized that even if I was sharing confidently that this is something I intend to do, there was still that silent battle within that says, oh, maybe, maybe it's not you. Maybe you'll do 1/10 of that, and not actually letting myself see, okay, what do I really need to learn? What's possible? And looking at all the opportunity and looking at it with hope, with optimism, with a sense of faith. I'm happy to say that since has shifted. But what I realized that a part of this was also that I was viewing it from the wrong perspective, right? And so I went and visited these oracles within an exercise within this shamanic training that I was doing, which I can explain more about if you send me a message. I can explain, like, tell me about the Viking oracle thing, and I'll know what to share with you. And please do, I don't mind if you want to email me or Instagram message me or something with just, hey, can you tell me more about this? So in this Viking oracle ritual, I asked about how it is I could be closer to the person who does enact these, amazing things, who creates these projects and who helps from her heart in such a confident way. She has the resources, she has the skills, she has the determination, all these things. That's what I was feeling. And all of them answered in almost very much the same way that I already am that person. And so again, I was like, I knew this before, but in new situations, when you're still in that assessment zone, it's important to recognize what perspective you actually want to be having in the situation. And when it is your dreams and things that you feel are very likely possible to happen, if, say, a few things turn out well, you get the resources and skills you need, et cetera, then there's no reason to not see yourself as the person completing those goals, those dreams, just today and as you are now. So I hope that helps. I'm really feeling like a lot of the collective energy for this week is about who you are, who you are, what you're here to do, your mission, what you're up to in general, and your goals and what they mean to you. And, maybe we're exploring how you value yourself and what is important to you, and how do you make space and get the plan together, get yourself feeling energized enough to enact, I don't know why I keep using enact, but to do the things you want to do and to achieve those dreams, to meet those goals head on. So this is the energy I'm feeling for this week, channeled a little bit differently than normal, but we're going to switch into the individual group soul circle time. If you're interested in talking about empath energetics, or maybe just your next step along this path, then please do get in touch. There's a 15-minute call link at the top of the Empath Energetics page on my site, heartsfrontier.com. And yeah, I'll be sharing more videos, more this week and next, hopefully more and more, until we begin Empath Energetics April 21st, 2024. So that'll start on a Sunday. Replays are always available. And then we'll sort out the timings once I know who's joining this next round. So we already have 6 in for the next round. I'm excited to keep growing that number. And I'll make sure that it stays small and intimate, and that we will have the exact amount of time needed for each person's journey to make sure that it's being seen and heard. So that's one of the benefits of this program. Okay, I'm wanting to switch into Soul Circle. So let's do that now. We'll see you later, YouTube.